Hi, my name's Eric, and this is the reading of Star Magazine by the Audible Local Ledger, a reading service exclusively for people who are blind or print disabled. On the cover this week, Pitt's worst nightmare. Brad loses his kids forever. How Angelina spent 10 years tearing the family apart. Only one kid has kept Pitt's last name. Find out who. On the sidebar, more exclusives, Britney bombshell. I'm having a baby. Rebound romance for Nicole Kidman. Meet my new man. Harry and Meghan going back to England. And Anne Hathaway pregnant at 43. We'll start with Star Scoop, Hollywood gossip, hot off the presses. Reese and Oliver, red carpet debut. The Legally Blonde star steps into the spotlight with boyfriend Oliver Harmon. Bend and snap. Reese Witherspoon and boyfriend Oliver Harmon stuck to the brief as the pair walked their first red carpet together at the Elle premiere, June 23rd in New York City. An executive producer of the Amazon Prime Video prequel series to her 2001 flick Legally Blonde, the 50-year-old channeled Elle Woods in a hot pink custom lace Mons look, while the private equity financier, who's 53, accessorized his navy suit with a matching tie. The morning show star has said she's proud to pass the baton, or the pink torch, to Lexi Mindtree, the 25-year-old who plays the future attorney as a high school student. Dating since 2024, Reese and Oliver have stayed out of the spotlight, occasionally being snapped out to dinner or apartment hunting in New York or on vacation aboard a yacht in Saint-Tropez, France. Worth a reported $400 million, Reese, who shares kids Ava, 26, and Deacon, 22, with first husband Ryan Philippi, who's 51, and 13-year-old son Tennessee, with second husband Jim Toth, who's 55, isn't in any rush to wed again. Oliver, also divorced, has 2 kids with ex Mala Gonkar, who's now wed to Talking Heads singer David Byrne. As a source recently told Star, the younger version of Reese would likely have felt differently. But at this stage of her life, her priority is feeling content and fulfilled in the relationship. More Star dish. Britney Spears. I want a baby. The troubled pop star announces she's ready to be a mother again. Britney Spears spent Father's Day thinking about motherhood. In a chaotic video posted to Instagram, the 44-year-old, her dress slipping from her shoulders, danced and held a mini guitar, writing in the caption that she'd picked up the tiny instrument in Mexico in hopes one day I can have another baby. The clip comes just months after the toxic singer was arrested for DUI and, as Star has previously reported, urged to enter rehab by her sons Sean, who's 20, and Jaden, 19, with ex Kevin Federline. After leaving rehab early, she pleaded guilty to wet reckless and was given a fine and probation and ordered to see a psychologist. Motherhood has been fraught for the former child star. In 2008, she lost primary and physical custody of her sons after a series of high-profile breakdowns. During the nearly 14-year conservatorship that followed, she was forced to have an IUD implanted because they don't want me to have children. Any more children, she told a judge in 2021, adding, I want to be able to get married and have a baby. When she did wed Sam Asghari in 2022, the pop princess was thrilled when she became pregnant. The joy was short-lived, however, as the couple announced she had miscarried their miracle child early in the pregnancy. Britney was absolutely shattered, an insider tells Star, adding that she's so determined to get pregnant again, she's looking for potential dads, including sketchy ex Paul Solis, or since he's been gone, she stepped out with a new guy, another hanger-on. Those are the likely candidates. Dolly's back. Fans have been so concerned about Dolly Parton's health since she postponed, then canceled her Las Vegas residency last year that the 80-year-old country legend felt compelled to take to social media last fall, posting, I ain't dead yet. On June 24th, she did one better. surprising fans at the grand opening of Dolly's Tennessean travel stop in Cornersville, Tennessee. And she was in full Dolly form, dressed in a fringed blue outfit and sparkly heels and full of quips. I'm sure some of you want to know why I wanted a truck stop, the I Will Always Love You singer told the crowd. Well, I couldn't leave it to the beavers, she said, referring to Buck E's trademark rodent. The 9 to 5 star, who was devastated by the 2025 death of longtime spouse Carl Dean, hasn't detailed her health challenges, except to say her immune and digestive systems got all out of whack. Doubling Down's Monster Mom. For 5 years, Karen and Dion Derrico shared their life with their oversized brood on TLC's Doubling Down with the Derricos. Now, 2 years after they divorced, Dion, who's 55, has come out with shocking allegations, including that his ex threatened to kill him and any of the kids who sided with him in their increasingly contentious split. He later told Parade he filed a police report when my children told me that she had threatened to kill them, adding that the threats started after he refused to remarry. On June 23rd, the mom of 14, including twins, quintuplets, and 2 sets of triplets, pleaded not guilty to harassment, violating a restraining order, preventing a witness from testifying through threat of violence, and aggravated stalking. The 46-year-old was released on a $2,000 bond and is wearing an ankle monitor. Her attorney has called the allegations completely false and fabricated by Mr. Derrico. Olivia Wilde. The truth about Harry Styles. Olivia Wilde knows her romance with her decade-younger Don't Worry Darling co-star Harry Styles will always be a talking point. 4 years after the couple split, the 42-year-old, now promoting The Invite, which she directed and stars in, wants to clear up the rumors. In a new interview with The Cut, the mom of 2 with ex Jason Sudeikis called her 2 years with a former boy bander loving and wonderful and joyful, but still bristles at the pushback she got for dating the 32-year-old amid buzz about on-set tension with DWD star Florence Pugh, who was said to resent the couple's trysts during the shoot. I was never not available on set, she told the mag. I wanted to be like, none of this is true. Instead, she said, I was told by the studio, don't say an effing word. Just go out there and smile. More star dish. Zac Efron, mind over body. Known for his buff bod in movies like Baywatch, Zac Efron is speaking up about Hollywood's unrealistic beauty standards. I think men, just like women, have to be realistic, the 38-year-old told Heat magazine. Constantly chasing physical perfection left the actor deeply unhappy, he admitted. The shape I was in for Baywatch wasn't sustainable, he told the outlet. I wasn't happy living the way I was to get in that shape. These days, the High School Musical alum, while still fit, prioritizes his mental health, putting mind over body. For too long, I only focused on work, and I neglected my personal life, the California native confessed. It's taken me a while to get there, but my biggest motivation is to be happy in both my professional and personal life. To that end, the actor who's dated Vanessa Hudgens, Lily Collins, and model Vanessa Valadares has created a life for himself in Australia, where he's currently constructing an eco-conscious home on land he purchased in 2020. Not that the star, worth an estimated $25 million, is slowing down. He's got 4 movies in the pipeline. Madonna's movie fiasco. Madonna is no Michael. At a time when the late Michael Jackson's biopic is breaking records, the pop star has revealed that she's had to scrap the much-anticipated movie about her own life. After working on the script for years, including with Juno scribe Diablo Cody, the 67-year-old confirmed she pressed pause when the studio balked at her budget. We had a falling out, me and Universal, regarding budget, the singer told Interview magazine, griping, I've had an extraordinary life. I've had a huge life, so I needed a big budget. You know what I mean? Once Universal Studios bowed out, Netflix showed some interest in the project, which was set to star Julia Garner, proposing a miniseries for the streamer. Problem was, Madonna couldn't use her script unless she paid an extortionist's price to Universal. As she contemplated turning the film into a series, the singer became frustrated. "You have to meet a lot of writers and find the right showrunner," she explained, quipping, "I was like, good thing I have another job, because I need to create. I need to do what I was put on this earth to do." On to star couples, the latest hookups, breakups, and makeups. Travis and Taylor, Bachelor and Bachelorette. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift have separate pre-wedding bashes. Are you ready for it? Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have been reveling in the run-up to their wedding, bringing their besties together for bachelor and bachelorette parties on opposite coasts. The NFL star, who's 36, partied with pals including teammate Patrick Mahomes and Taylor's brother Austin over the course of several events in California, from a members-only club and Chris Lake concert in LA to a NASCAR race in San Diego. Taylor, who is 36, meanwhile, hosted a gaggle of girlfriends at her oceanfront Rhode Island mansion, where she's famously brought close friends, including Gigi Hadid and Selena Gomez, for days-long bashes in the past. Taylor and Travis are both embracing the spirit of the occasion and having a blast letting their hair down with friends and family, says a source. Travis is trying not to go too hog-wild. He wants to remember this time with some level of clarity. But his friends are predictably making it a pretty booze-soaked celebration. Taylor's get-togethers have been a bit more refined. She's been letting off steam, but not in an over-the-top way. It's the last hurrah for the power couple, who are rumored to be getting hitched in front of hundreds of A-listers at Madison Square Garden over July 4th weekend after getting engaged last August. Everything for the big day is under control, says the source. They can't wait to make things official. Nicole moves on. Nicole Kidman has officially closed the book on her 19-year marriage to Keith Urban and is dating again. A source reveals the Oscar winner, who's 59, has been cozying up to businessman Paul Salem, a divorced dad of 4 and wealthy private equity investor. Nicole has a completely different energy about her these days. It's like she has her confidence back, says a source, who adds that the 62-year-old hasn't been Nicole's only suitor since her divorce was finalized in January. Paul may be the man everyone's talking about right now, but he's far from the only person pursuing her. As Nicole has regained her mojo, her split has seemingly grown more amicable. Indeed, the mom of 2 wished her ex a happy Father's Day on Instagram, days after the country star posted a birthday message to her. Says the source, Nicole seems lighter and more carefree. She's finally having fun, which is wonderful after such a hard year. Joe and Sarah, dating and PDA. British-American love story. New couple Sarah Pidgeon and Joe Alwyn didn't try to hide their attraction during a recent date night in Brooklyn. The British actor, who's 35, slung his arm around the love story star, who's 30, who gave him a kiss at dinner. It's the type of giddy PDA that Joe avoided during his 6-year relationship with Taylor Swift. A source says the new couple, who met through mutual friends, are enjoying spending time together and seeing where it leads. Sarah is very much an it girl right now, but it doesn't seem to have gone to her head, notes the insider, which is crucial for Joe because he's a humble guy and can't stand the pretentiousness of Hollywood. The source adds that Joe has been skittish about romance since dating Earth's most famous pop star, but he and Sarah can walk around New York without being bothered. It's refreshing. Kiki and Sean, flirty friends or more. It's getting hot in here. Kiki Palmer called Sean Evans my guy after the two were spotted enjoying a cozy Brooklyn dinner date, adding, I love Sean Evans. Now a source confirms the duo is exploring a romance. They're taking it step by step and trying not to get too carried away, but the attraction is extremely obvious. Kiki, who's 32, and Sean, 40, became friends after the Burbs star appeared on a 2017 episode of Sean's Hot Ones podcast. As Sean admitted in 2023, he was instantly smitten by the very charming Kiki. The feeling was mutual, as she gushed during her recent visit to her baby, This Is Keke Palmer podcast. I was feeling like, man, this is so much fun, she admitted, as Sean replied, I was feeling the exact same thing. Says the source, you can tell they're totally enchanted. On to the cover story, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, the final betrayal. As the last of his 6 children with Angelina reach adulthood, Brad faces the real cost of a decade of heartbreak and uncertain hope. Brad Pitt sounded like a man who'd finally built the life he'd always wanted. Nearly 10 years after divorcing his first wife, Jennifer Aniston, who's 57, and just months after marrying Angelina Jolie, he gushed about his bride and their 6 children in the November 2014 issue of Psychology's magazine. You learn to value the basic beauty of a family, of watching your children grow and evolve. It's the most beautiful thing you can experience, he said. I feel like the richest man alive since I've become a father. Less than 2 years later, that dream unraveled. An alcohol-fueled argument aboard a private plane led Angelina, who's 51, to file for divorce, setting off a bitter fight over the kids. Brad, who's 62, had called an essential part of my life. Now, as their youngest children, twins Knox and Vivian, turn 18 on July 12th, comes an emotional end to the almost decade-long custody battle that's defined Brad and Angelina's lives since their explosive 2016 split. This is the ultimate nightmare for Brad, a source tells Star. From his perspective, he went from having the most beautiful, happy family to being totally disowned and left to rot. Brad initially believed getting sober after the breakup, committing himself to therapy, and pursuing joint custody would eventually help repair the damage. He denied all allegations of abuse, and an investigation resulted in no charges. He tried so hard to win them back, or at least keep a relationship going with them, says the source, but ultimately, it's all been to no avail. Instead, one by one, his children turned. A final blow? 5 have now publicly or legally dropped Pitt from their names. They clearly want little or nothing to do with him, says the source, adding that it's been a heartbreaking betrayal for the F1 star. The custody war over Maddox, who's 24, Pax, who's 22, Zahara, who's 21, and Shiloh, 20, as well as the twins, went on for years. Although Brad won a temporary 50-50 custody ruling in 2021, it was later overturned on procedural grounds after an appeals court disqualified the private judge overseeing the case. And the former couple didn't finalize their financial settlement until late 2024, although they're still battling over a Chateau Miraval, the French winery and estate where they wed. In May, Angelina won a key ruling allowing her to withhold a slew of private emails that are tied to her disputed sale of her share, though Brad continues fighting to unwind the deal. Behind the scenes, both sides have long blamed the other for the collapse of Brad's relationship with the kids. In June, a UK outlet quoted sources close to the Fight Club star, asserting that Angelina had once hoped for a reconciliation after he got sober, and that she became vindictive when he refused. Says the star's source, she's been torturing him ever since because she couldn't handle the rejection. According to the source, Brad's supporters believe Angelina ultimately poisoned the kids against him. Indeed, in 2024, court papers revealed that a former security guard was willing to testify about statements he overheard Ms. Jolie make to the children, encouraging them to avoid spending time with Mr. Pitt during custody visits. A second source tells the Star only one parent alienated the children and tore them apart, and it was not the father. Angelina's camp has long rejected that accusation. Her team insists she never intended to alienate Brad from the kids. Their position is he did it all by himself, says the source. If any of them want to maintain ties with him, she's adamant that wouldn't have been a problem. But they've chosen to cut ties with him, and that's entirely their decision and their right. Brad missed both Zahara's May College and the twins' high school graduations. For Angelina, the years of wrangling since the breakup have also taken a toll. I think my fighting spirit is finally back, she told Variety. I lost it for a bit. I got kind of taken down a little bit, and it's coming back in large part thanks to my children, who are now older and encouraging it. The Girl Interrupted Oscar winner has been looking ahead to a time that's no longer defined by her fight with her ex, which she said in 2024 was the sole reason she was still living in LA. I am here because I have to be here from a divorce, but as soon as the twins are 18, I'll be able to leave, she told The Hollywood Reporter. In May, she put her home on the market for nearly $30 million. My kids want to see me traveling the world. They want me to get out and do things, she recently told Variety. They know me more than anybody, and they still like me, which says a lot. Despite everything that happened between their parents, the children have quietly built lives of their own. Maddox has reportedly maintained a base in South Korea, where he studied biochemistry at Seoul's Yonsei University, while continuing to work behind the scenes as an assistant director on his mother's new film, Couture, and a production assistant on 2024's Maria. Pax has weathered a turbulent few years after a devastating 2024 e-bike crash that sent him to the ICU with reportedly complex head injuries. He's continued pursuing filmmaking and photography, also working on the sets of his mother's movies. Surprisingly, though, he famously blasted Brad as a world-class a-hole, an effing awful human being, in a 2020 Father's Day Instagram post. Pax is the sole child who has kept his father's name. Perhaps, as Page Six recently reported, it's because he's maintained ties with his father's extended family, recently joining Brad's sister Julie and niece Reagan at a dinner celebrating the engagement of a cousin, Sydney, whose father is Brad's brother Doug. After earning a degree in psychology from Spelman College in May, Zahara has expressed an interest in humanitarian work, while Shiloh is a gifted dancer who appeared in K-pop singer Daeyoung's What's a Girl to Do music video in April. The twins have also found their own passions. Vivienne worked as a producer's assistant alongside her mom on Broadway's Tony-winning musical The Outsiders, and Knox is training as a Muay Thai fighting competitor. The kids are all incredibly hard workers, says the source. Even as one chapter of his life is closing, Brad is trying to build another. Professionally, he's busier than ever, with 2 movies slated for release this year and more coming from his Plan B production company. Away from the cameras, the brightest spot in Brad's life remains Inez de Ramon, his love of nearly 4 years. He adores the Swiss-educated jewelry executive who's 33 and says it's the most peaceful, refreshing relationship he's ever had, and that it just keeps on getting better, says the source, adding, she's the one ray of sunshine in his life. Still, the source insists Brad hasn't given up on his kids. His biggest fear is that he's lost them forever, says the source, but he hasn't totally lost hope that they'll find a path back to him and find it in their hearts to forgive him. Tragically, though, hope is pretty much all he's got left. Sidebar: still in business. Angelina returned to theaters on June 26th in Couture as an American filmmaker in France whose life is upended by a breast cancer diagnosis. While promoting the movie, she revealed she'd planned to quit acting before her split from Brad to focus on directing, but returned because it allowed her to make a good amount of money while staying close to their children. She has 2 more films in the can: the comedy Anxious People, co-starring Amy Lou Wood and Jason Segel, and the crime thriller Sunny, Sunny, in which she plays a glamorous gangster and devoted single mom. A third, Maleficent movie is also in development at Disney. Brad is equally busy. He stars in September's survival thriller Heart of the Beast as a former Army Special Forces soldier stranded in the Alaskan wilderness. And in November, Brad, who's spent recent months in Ireland filming the A24 drama The Riders, reprises his Oscar-winning role from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as the titular character in The Adventures of Cliff Booth. Anne Hathaway, pregnant at 43. The busy actress is basking in the baby joy after announcing she and husband Adam Schulman are expecting their third child. She did it for the gram. On June 19th, Anne Hathaway surprised her 43 million Instagram followers with an epic video revealed. Dressed in a flowy ivory skirt and matching top, the actress walked with her arms crossed, then unfolded them to show off a baby bump before flashing a huge smile and cradling her bare tummy. "X baby, I'm yours, X," she captioned the post, which was set to the song of the same name by music legend Barbara Lewis. The good news comes at a good time for the 43-year-old actress, who shares Jonathan, who's 10, and Jack, 6, with her film producer husband of nearly 14 years, Adam Schulman, and has been open about her fertility struggles in the past. She's having a banner year. The Devil Wears Prada 2, the much-anticipated sequel to her 2006 hit, grossed $676 million globally, and she earned rave reviews for her turn as a Lady Gaga-like pop star in April's Mother Mary. With 3 more eagerly awaited films due out before December, including Christopher Nolan's big-budget flick The Odyssey and Verity, based on It Ends With Us author Colleen Hoover's best-selling book, she's gearing up for a hectic but joyful few months. Anne is just feeling so blessed and loved right now, a source tells Star. It's the best of her life by a mile, and she's savoring every single moment. It's a happy ending she didn't always see coming. In the early 2010s, the New Jersey native hit a professional low. Hatha-hate took over the internet as critics, dubbed Hatha-haters, slammed her for being actressy, overexposed, and a try-hard. Social media users trashed her disastrous 2011 Oscars co-hosting gig with James Franco and groused that she was miscast as Catwoman in The Dark Knight Rises. Her weepy 2013 Best Actress Oscar acceptance speech for Les Mis was widely panned. People were clearly sick of her, says the source. She walked away with an Oscar, but there was real blowback. The hate nearly tanked her career, as Anne told Vanity Fair. A lot of people wouldn't give me roles because they were so concerned about how toxic my identity had become online. Now, both her personal and professional lives are in full swing. Anne's in the midst of one of the busiest years of her career with 5 huge movies, and then you add in the pregnancy, and it's hard to fathom how she's keeping it all together, says the source. And with that, we've come to the end of our reading of Star Magazine with an issue date of July 13th of 2026. This is your reader, Eric, saying be well, be safe, look after each other, and remember our veterans, especially those we've lost recently. Bye for now.